Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Excellent people who protest against all hunting and consider sportsmen as enemies of wildlife are ignorant of the fact that in reality, sportsmen is by all odds the most important factor." Today I'd like to explain to you why I believe that there shouldn't be such negative opinions against hunting. While I'm not a regular hunter myself, it is something that I like to engage in at least a couple of times a year. So while I do understand why some people choose not to hunt, I think it's important for them to understand why so many people are choosing to hunt. So today I'll be presenting you with some information in response to some of the common arguments in the hunting debate. One of the biggest arguments that comes up during the hunting debate is that hunting is no longer a necessity to live. However, hunting is a great resource of providing a lean, organic source of nutrition that you can't get from your usual chicken or pork. In an article entitled, "Hunting is Conservation, Why Hunting is Necessary," published on April 30th, 2019 by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the author uses elk as an example. He explained that elk offers much more protein than most of the meats we eat, as well as less fat, cholesterol, and calories. Today's society is dependent on commercialism, so most of the food we buy from the stores is not only dispersed, but controlled by businesses. Most of these products have all kinds of additives that make these foods last longer or taste better. According to the Sale of Projects article, "Why You Should Hunt Meat Yourself," published in October of 2017, some meats have been found with all kinds of unnatural products, so it makes sense that so many people are choosing to just hunt their own meat. Rather than consuming all of the additional additives and chemicals that come along with the meat from the supermarket, hunters enjoy the healthier and tastier meat that they get straight from the wild. Instead of being raised on abnormal diets, animals in the wild enjoy more natural plants and nuts. Another approach that I personally take in response to that argument is comparing hunting with the alternative to providing meat. In an online post on the Animal Equality website in February of 2016, the author shares the statistics from the United Nations that states that the number of livestock sent to the slaughterhouse each year is 8 times the population of the world. That article goes on to share that factory farming is the main cause of animal abuse. While I understand that some people view hunting as wrong, it's much more ethical to let these animals enjoy their lives in the wild than in the slaughterhouses. In an article published by the ASPCA called Farm Animal Welfare, the author lists some of the major cruelty that these animals face, including physical altercations such as teeth clipping or tail docking, overcrowded cages, as well as untreated illnesses and injuries. Furthermore, there's a lot of parts of the farmed animals that are trash because they just simply have no use for them. Hunters, on the other hand, typically try to find as much use for the animal as possible. So going beyond the meat, they utilize the organs and bones and of course the skin. So while hunting may not be a complete necessity, it definitely has its advantages over the alternatives. Another common argument used against hunting is that it is dangerous for more than just the hunter. Opponents of hunting like to mention that there is high risk for serious injury. According to a study conducted by the National Sports Shooting Foundation, published on their website in December of 2011, a person is much more likely to be injured participating in football, skateboarding, volleyball, and even riding a bike. To provide an example of exactly how much safer it is, the odds of getting in a hunting accident are 1 in 2,000, while the odds of being involved in some kind of football-related injury are just 1 in 19. And if that date on that statistic seems a bit dated, there's been numerous studies done in recent years that show that hunting is becoming safer and safer. In researching some of these studies, you'd find that hunting-related injuries are at an all-time low right now. I personally believe that hunting helps maintain safety through population control. How many times have you personally had to slam on the brakes because of a deer running in front of you? Or maybe you didn't quite get to the pedal in time and ended up having that collision. According to statistics provided by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, updated on the Cleveland website in 2019, hunters harvested 186,000 deer statewide in the last 5 years. In that same time frame, the number of deer collisions decreased by almost 27,000. According to the RMEF website, hunting is the main tool used by biologists to manage wildlife populations. Without hunters trying to manage the deer populations, who knows how many more accidents would be occurring each year. While the opposition argues that hunting is dangerous, statistics show that hunting can benefit safety for both hunters and non-hunters. I hope that in presenting you with this data, you've gained an understanding of how beneficial hunting can really be. I know I'll personally continue to hunt, especially after researching all of these benefits. Whether you choose to support or oppose the practice of hunting, I encourage you to be mindful of the data that I shared today. Don't be what Teddy Roosevelt would call ignorant.